Yo, we are in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Heat Check Live Beat Review Show right here on YouTube. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Heat Check Live Beat Review Show right here on YouTube. Guys, I definitely apologize about that delay. Had a couple issues pop out on OBS and things like that. All my streamers, anybody like that out there who streams, you guys definitely know how that goes. But I want to thank all of you guys who are actually here. Shout out to you. What's going on, Millie, in the chat? Got the chat way on the other side of my screen, kind of doing a manual stream right now, guys. But I am here with you. So let me see if I get this thing activated. No? Okay. I just want to activate something cool for you guys, but it looks like it's not popping up for me now. But let's go ahead and get right into the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Heat Check Live Beat Review Show right here on YouTube. I'm your host, Desmond A., and I'm here to give you guys some great reviews on your music. If this is your first time here, you might be wondering, who is this guy? Why is he talking? What qualifies him to give me some information? Well, my name is Desmond A. I've been producing music for over 12 years now. 12 whole years now, guys. And I've learned quite a few things. So I've worked with recording artists in the studio, home studios, mid-sized studios, kind of studios in the trap. I've been in a couple of those as well. I've sold beats online. I've sold beats like last week. I'm a content creator, podcaster, got placements on TV shows. I do quite a bit of everything, and that gives me perspective to help you guys as a music producer. So I've been a few places, seen a few things. So I'm here to go ahead and give you that experience so you don't have to make the mistakes yourself. You can just go ahead and get that good game from me. So if you appreciate that, make sure you stick around and check out the Heat Check. So guys, if this is your first time here at the Heat Check, what we do is you go ahead and submit your beats in the link in the description for the free submissions. The free submissions open at the end of this stream, and they close at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's right. That's when the cutoff time is for the free submissions. And then from there forward, like right now through the stream, you can do the paid submissions. That's right. Paid VIP skip the line. It's only $10, and it also supports the channel. Then you get to skip to the top of the line, get your beat reviews first, and also VIPs get their entire beat played. So free submissions get about a minute and a half. VIPs get their entire beat played, so you get a full breakdown on your production. So if you're down with that, go ahead and click on the VIP skip the line. If not, wait till the end of the stream, and I'll go ahead and make a post for next week's show so you can post for next Friday. So if you're rocking with that, make sure you stay here. Also, here at the Heat Check, a couple of ground rules. How do we do things here? So the Heat Checks, we're not here to snap. We're not here to roast. We're not here to play the dozens or anything like that. This is not that kind of stream. This stream is essentially, it's kind of like a dojo. Have you guys ever been to like a martial arts dojo? When you're in a martial arts dojo, you know, they give you real actionable steps. They don't say, hey, that's a whack kick, or hey, that's a whack, jab. They're going to say, look, go ahead and put a little weight behind your jab. You know, if you're going to do a front kick, just do a front kick and pop your hip out a little bit so you can close the distance. We're going to give you real actionable tips. We're going to give it to you straight, but we're going to give it to you with love, and we're not going to tear you down. We're here to build producers up. So make sure you stick around. All right, guys. Also, make sure you check out the Made in the Studio podcast. The last episodes was with Mixed by L. Mixed by L, very popular mixing engineer and content creator here. He was so gracious to share his time. So that was the last show. Gearing up for some episodes in May. So guys, be on the lookout for May's interviews. You guys are definitely gonna love it. Stick around. Lots of fire game, man. I'm literally excited to tell you guys, but gotta keep it under wraps until it's actually out, and then we can all celebrate and get the good information together. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the beat reviews, what you guys are actually here for. All right, all right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Let's see if this. Okay. Yeah, a brother done upgraded, man. We got some sound effects going on, so you guys do a good job in. You know, we gotta do upgrades. We gotta do some upgrades. All right, we're gonna have even more upgrades on next week's show when I get everything all figured out. So thank you guys so much for your patience. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First submission of the night is from Monley, Monlyyy, with Anomaly. All right, that kind of rhymes. So I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
It's lonely.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
It's lonely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, starting the show off right. That was Monley with Anomaly. Thank you so much for submitting on the heat check. I definitely appreciate that. Please continue to submit on future shows. So, Monley, man, good beat. Definitely had a good beat, good bop, good bounce. Also, just overall great feel. You know, it gives me that real trap feel, that real trap vibe. There's something about authentic trap music that just gets me, guys. You know, a lot of my productions, a lot of the productions, some songs I did for the independent artists and stuff, a lot of it is R&B or hip-hop R&B, hip-hop soul, kind of like smooth stuff, you know? But when I hear like hardcore trap stuff, man, it puts me right in the zone, you know? Back when I was in high school, that's kind of music that we'd use to charge us up, you know? Just go out there and go crazy on the football field. You guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, great feel, great groove. One thing I was hearing though, is something that I've been hearing from a lot of producers. I don't know if this is like a style thing that some of you guys have been adopting. And if you could see here when I open up the waveform, it's just like one big block. So I know you're blasting your 808 into the master. It gives kind of a cool texture, but you kind of want to watch that because with that cool texture that is giving it, a lot of the times I don't like the digital distortion that running your 808 real hard on the master fader does, but for some reason that one was a little more pleasant. It was a little more pleasurable. So that made the difference. Oh, shout out to you in the chat. Shout out to you in the chat. Hey, Des, I see you. So we got a couple people up here in the chat. Sorry about that, Monley. Now, one thing I was hearing, another thing I was hearing other than that, and I'm sorry, with the 808s running into the master, like I said, I usually don't like the digital distortion. I liked it that time, but with that, you tend to sacrifice some of the sub, some of the real low end. So if you play those speakers on just real big speakers in a major recording studio, don't expect it to shake and move as much as you think it will. Somebody's gonna come in with like a real smooth, just strong subby 808. It can actually like kind of change the pressure in the studio. It just rolls and rumbles real hard. So you want to watch that because you don't want to be like super upstaged by something like that. I've seen it happen before. Just be aware. Watch how hard you're letting your 808 run into the master. You can get that crunchiness and at the same time try to keep some sub with it. As a matter of fact, that's why I created my FL Studio Patcher plugin here. You can find it right here on my YouTube channel under products. This is the exact reason I made it. It's called FL D-Bass. So this is made strictly for producers like you. So if you can see here, FL D-Bass allows you to control the distortion. So you can have different styles of distortion. And then here you can drive the sub. So you can blend how harsh and crispy you want that top end, how buzzy you want it. And then you can use this to filter it out, to smooth it out. And then also you can drive some of the low end, add some of that body back in. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and get that. It's only a couple bucks here on my YouTube channel. So FL D-Bass, it's a FL Studio stock patcher plugin. So just go ahead and get that, and that's going to help you as well. Now, on top of that, what's going on, CS Dillinger? What's going on? What's going on? I see you in the chat. Also, Monly, another thing I was hearing in that beat was the artist I was thinking of when I was listening to that is I was thinking about Future. And one thing about Future, especially if we're talking about like albums like Dirty Sprite 2, something that's like a classic like Dirty Sprite 2. One thing that we would hear on a lot of the production with whoever he's working with, Metro, Southside, at times there's kind of like this cool switch up. Either the drum bounce changes a little bit or the producer takes out a lot of sounds and then it creates this tension and they'll add like a pad sound. So what I want you to do, Monly, is I want you to go back to some of those classic Future songs, like different songs on Dirty Sprite 2, and then listen to those switch ups that people like Metro and Southside did, how it created this tension. I feel like you can experiment with something like that in your production, and I think it'll really take it to the next level. So, go ahead and listen to that, implement that in a beat like this, and I think it's going to take you a very long way. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Monly. Thank you so much for your submission on the heat check, and I'll be glad to see you on the next show. All right. That's how we're going to do it. Moving forward, we have another submission from Monly. All right. This one is called Struggle. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then go ahead and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this together, guys.
His moan.
All right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Monly. Second submission of the night. Shout out to you, Monly. That one was called Struggle. So yes. Man, that was definitely a hard beat, man. Shout out to you, Monly. Thank you so much for your submissions this week. You know, Monly, when I was listening to those beats, the first producer I was thinking about is it gave me some like DJ Paul vibes, you know? Gave me like those classic 3-6 Mafia vibes, that 3-6 Mafia bop, you know, kind of took me back to my childhood in high school when I would have those Hypnotized Minds albums and I'd be, you know, listening to it with my brother and my friends and stuff like that. So you definitely put me back in that space and I definitely appreciate that. So shout out to you. Now, very hard beat, very good beat. Once again, you're hitting the master pretty hard. Once again, it's for some reason it's pleasing to my ears still. So, you know, a rapper is definitely going to be able to rap to it. You're definitely going to be able to sell that beat. Just be aware that another producer in that same studio session might have a simpler beat that has like a whole lot of sub bass just waving through the whole studio. I just don't want you to be surprised if that happens because we're crushing everything. But, you know, if you like it, then you can rock out with it. But I definitely do suggest giving yourself some headroom so things aren't clipping so hard and distorting so hard. Another thing with that beat, I definitely like that beat. Once again, I put myself in the mode of an artist like Future, somebody like that rapping to a beat like this. I like the switch up that you did later in the beat, but it's like I was feeling with the beat, but I feel like I was just like a couple notches away from giving pure stank face. You know, I feel like I was just a couple notches away. The one thing that would have done it was like a real nice, proper switch up. So once again, I know I keep saying this, listen to some of Future's productions with on Dirty Sprite 2, and you're going to hear some of those switch ups. And just listen as a student and not as a fan of the music. Just listen purely, almost scientifically. What is the producer doing? How does it make me feel? How is the artist riding the beat with that switch up? And what kind of emotion is it creating inside me? And once you get those things down and really, really study those things, you're going to be able to make really effective switch ups within your beats, where it goes from a hard beat that we all like to something that's just pure stank face. We're just like, oh my goodness, you know? So if you do that, man, I'm telling you, you'll be out of here. But you already got it. But I'm just throwing some things out there to get you totally out there. So once again, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Great submission. Moving forward, we have a regular here on the Heat Check and someone who's here in the chat. We have Millie Beats in the building. Shout out to you, Millie Beats. Shout out to you, Millie Beats. Thank you so much for your submission this week. All right, we have Millie Beats with Hella Bands. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and do that right now.
God damn, Millie, you bad.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Millie Beats with Hella Bands. Thank you so much for your submission this week, Millie Beats. Thank you so much. Now, Millie Beats, definitely had your signature West Coast West Coast vibe, West Coast groove. We definitely appreciate that. With that beat, the first thing I noticed was like that kick and that bass was just a little strange. The kick in the 808 was a little strange. It almost felt like I wanted more attack on the kick, and I wanted the bass to just be round and underneath it. It felt like I just want you to just cycle through your sounds and find a different kick on that beat. The relationship with that kick, it needed a sharper transient, a sharper attack, just something with just come through. It was just that attack was too soft, and then it created a weird relationship with that 808. So let's watch that. Also, another thing that I was hearing in that beat, Millie, is it sounded like you were doing some things with your velocity, and then at times it just created this strange volume wave. It didn't feel intentional. It felt like sounds were just kind of loose and all over the place. So make sure that as you're playing with the velocity of your sounds, there's some type of consistency, there's some type of coherence between what's going on, because it just felt all the way all over the place. We want things to have a certain feel to it if we're going to mess around with the velocity. So watch that so we can have some type of consistency. Other than that, I think I would need to hear a change in those sounds that I suggested in order to make a better judgment of where this beat can go. So once again, had your signature sound, signature West Coast sounds, but we definitely need to work on some of the sound selection there just to get things locked in properly. But thank you so much for your submission, Millie Beats. Thank you so much. All right, moving forward, second submission of the night by Millie Beats. This one is called AK-47. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen.
God damn, Millie, you bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Millie Beats with AK-47. Thank you so much for your submission this week, Millie Beats. Thank you so much. Now, Millie Beats. That beat was much more in that proper West Coast vein. I feel like I could be in a studio somewhere in Southern California, and then the artist could be somewhere in the corner rapping or something like that. Like if I heard this in the studio, it wouldn't be like, this isn't a good beat or anything like that. I could see this fitting right with that aesthetic there. Not to say everybody in Southern California likes, West Coast beats like this. Just saying. People in Atlanta, all we like is trap beats. So anyway, so Millie Beats, that beat, much more coherent, much more consistent, much more in the vein of what a West Coast artist would like. Guys, I don't know if you know this, but Millie Beats is actually making his beats on FL Studio Mobile. Isn't that impressive, guys? That is impressive to me, and he's getting this quality already. And I say that not to bust you out, Millie Beats, like I do every week, but just to say that how far technology has come. And Millie Beats, once you're able to get a laptop and headphones and things like that, man, I'm gonna see where we can take you mix wise. That wasn't like a bad mix or anything like that. I just want more polish. I just want things to be a little more polished, a little more outside of what I'm currently hearing. I just want to take things up a level. So once you're able to get a laptop, hopefully we can get you in there with some, even FL Studio stock mixing tools are really good. They're really good. So I just want to take things to the next level is what I'm trying to say essentially. So you're in a good place with this, but we want to take the mix to the next level. And once we're able to get you off the mobile device, I think we can definitely take things there. Or if you're working with what you have, listen to some of those West Coast beats that you really like, even if it's a type beat producer online, and just listen closely. Listen to the relationship between the pads and the bass, from the hi-hats to the low end. Everything is a relationship when it comes to music. So different sounds aren't just operating in isolation. It's not good enough to just have a really good Moog bass or a really good snare or hi-hats. Things have to flow together to paint a picture, and that's what we're ultimately aiming for. So it's almost like Millie Beats, you have a certain types of paint brushes and paint available to you right now, and I'm looking at what you're doing, and I'm like, okay, I see what you got going on there. I want to take you to this next level, but to take you there, I'm gonna need you to move you over to these set of tools. And if you can't get there, look at what other people can do with those other tools, and then just try your best to extract fundamentally what they're doing, so you can push yourself a bit more. So that's what I'm looking forward to you doing, Millie Beats. But yes, thank you so much for your submission this week. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate that, and I'll be glad to continue to help you out on your music production journey. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, moving forward, we have JVN. JVN World, is that you? I believe so. All right, we got JVN World with Error. Okay, we're going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. right, ladies and gentlemen, that was JVN World with Error. Thank you so much for your submission this week, JVN World. I appreciate your submission. All right, now, JVN World. Thank you so much for your submission. Couple things going on here with this beat. One, there's like this weird wood block sound that you added to this beat that was panned. That sound was not necessary. Let's go ahead and mute that sound out the beat. It really didn't add anything. Also, your kick drum that you had was overwhelming, and I know what you were doing. Sometimes in music production, we can confuse loud with power or loud with better. And that happens to a lot of us, and even happens to the best of us. But so what it sounds like to me is that you were in the studio making this beat, you were grooving, you were in the zone, and you just wanted like, oh, I just want this kick to be so loud that it hits people and it's super aggressive and people have no choice but to pay attention. But it was loud for the sake of being loud, not loud for the sake of adding anything to the beat. It was just too much. It just added too much. It's kind of like, let's just say somebody's wearing some accessories, right? They're wearing like a chain or something like that. And they say, you know, when I go out, I want to get some attention today. You know, I got a cool outfit. I want to get some attention. So to pay attention to my accessory, I'm going to make it like, you know, bright pink. Or I'm gonna make it bright pink, bright yellow. I'm gonna add a whole bunch of diamonds right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put like this swirly thing because I want people to pay attention to this accessory right here. You know, you could do that, but that's doing too much. It's doing too much to grab the attention. And similar to that analogy, it's kind of like that kick. I knew you wanted us to pay attention to it, but it's too much and it needs to be dialed back. Also, here's another thing I was hearing in that beat in your production. The melody that you had was very one-dimensional in the sense that it didn't really go anywhere. So we want to tell some type of melodic story, meaning when you have a sound in your production, you kind of want to figure out what direction it's going in. You know, if you notice from some of the other producers' submissions, they'll have a different type of melody going on in the intro, in the verse. Sometimes they switch it up in the hook. They switch it up in the outro. So it's typically never just one way. They're doing different things to the melody to keep the listener's ear engaged, so that way they don't start to get bored or feel like things are starting to get monotone and one-dimensional. We want to think about the melodic story that's going on in order to help the overall beat. This just kind of felt like one sound was kind of droning on and on and on, and it didn't create any type of interesting style in doing that. Sometimes people can do weird stuff and it creates an interesting style. In this case, it just felt more monotone and droning on and on and on. So one thing I want you to do, JVN World, is once again, I could tell that you're jumping right into your DAW whenever you have time to make beats, and you're just attacking it. You're just going at it. You have sounds. You maybe have a couple of plugins, VSTs. You're like, now I have time to make beats. Let me go ahead and hurry up and make a beat. Right now. Let me finish it. And with that, I really don't feel like you're taking the time to become a student of the craft of music production and beat making. And I don't say that to be harsh. I say that to kind of look at things as a curriculum. You know, before you jump in to make a beat, grab a type beat from a producer that you like on YouTube or an instrumental of a popular song that you like. Drop it in your DAW and say, today, instead of making a beat, I'm going to copy the drum pattern to this latest Metro Boomin song or this latest Future song or this latest Summer Walker song. I'm going to take the time to try to get my drum beat exactly like it. And in that process of doing those two things, of listening to the popular song and yours, you're going to start to notice a gap. Why does their hi-hat feel better than mine? Why does their kick sound so good? And one thing that happens is, you know, in the past, before we had access to all the same sounds way back in the day, a lot of us would have excuses. Well, it's because they have access to the studio and the engineers are doing all kinds of special stuff. Now, these days, we really have no excuse. Everybody has Splice. Everybody has different drum packs that y'all share and swap around. So those same quality sounds that someone like Wheezy Outta Here or Metro or whatever is using, we all have access to those same sounds. We just have to figure out how to put them together to create something that's pleasing to the ear. So please, JVN World, take the time to be a student and just do some basic exercises like copying drum patterns. Just try it out and listen to the gaps between theirs and yours, and then slowly be patient with yourself. In this, they were doing it for quite a while. Be patient with yourself, but take things step by step and allow yourself to just pick up on the gaps, pick up on what you need to fix. And I did that before, way in the past, and it showed me a lot. Man. So, and once again, one of my guests in my Made of the Studio podcast, Ben Mari, who produced for Big X The Plug, Finesse 2 Times, everybody like that. He says to this day, if he has beat block, he'll remake a beat. So, he's a Billboard platinum producer. If he can do it, all of us can do it, and we're never too big to be a student of the game. So once you do that, do those baby steps, man, you're gonna start to grow. Also, the 808s, JVN World, I noticed at certain points the 808s were out of key, so you want to watch that too. So thank you so much for submitting, JVN World. Thank you so much. I'll be glad to continue to help you on your music production journey. Now, okay, in the chat we have I'm Just HJ. All right, I'm Just HJ. You can see there in the pinned comment in the chat, free submissions are closed. But if you want to do the VIP skip the line for $10, you can go ahead and click on the link in the chat. We'll go ahead and pull you to the top of the queue. We'll review your entire beat, so you'll get a full breakdown. Free submissions just get a minute and a half. VIP skip the line gets the whole thing. Or you can wait till the end of the stream. That's when I open up the free form for next Friday's show. So if you want to wait all the way until next Friday, you could do that. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to make a YouTube community post letting you know you can submit for next Friday's show. Or if you want to show love to the channel and get some feedback today, we'll definitely appreciate that. And I'll get you on board. And then you can go ahead and hand off some donations. That's how we're going to keep this thing going. All right. So shout out to you. Moving forward, we have Emil. Yes, that's how you pronounce it. We have Emil with Melodic Trap. All right. Shout out to you, Emil. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for your submitting again. We got you back here, Emil. So I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Emil Exclusive with Melodic Trap. Shout out to you, Emil Exclusive. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Emil Exclusive, man, that was a good beat. You know, the artist that I thought about getting on this beat was Young Dro. That's who I was thinking. You know, you had this weird, it was a quirky kind of trap vibe, you know, and I dig that. It's a quirky trap vibe. People really get in the zone and bounce around. You know, a bounce like this, people just unlock these really unique flows when you're in the studio, man. Guys, and this is to all my engineers out there, guys, please, you know, get you a DJI or something, because there are magic moments, guys, that happen in the studio. Man, if I can find, I don't know if it's on my old hard drive, man, but I've had some amazing moments in the studio, man. Like, I'm gonna remember it when I'm an elderly man. So I say that to say, sorry if it sounded like I was going off track. I say that to say those magic moments that happen in the studio when people are like freestyling to a beat like this. Whip out a DJI or something, all my engineers or people who work in the studio, just capture those magic moments. I got a few of them myself from artists I've worked with. Just, you know, just capture it, man. Record it. Because, you know, AI is getting better and better, but one thing that AI can't do is those magic moments that happens with us within the studio. And then people are going to want that as proof that, you know, these are real humans in the future. So maybe we might have to like document things on the blockchain to prove that it's real human. So, you know, it's crazy things are getting, but we will survive and we will persevere. Okay. So yeah, Emil Exclusive, good beat. Once again, I hear that it's more so like a freestyle beat. One thing Emil Exclusive, one thing I want you to think about and just try, since this was already a good beat, and you know, this is a feedback show, I want you to think about how to get more out of the high end in your beat. So if you listen to your beat and let's say, I believe Hit Boy has a instrumental project, instrumental version of one of his projects. You could probably find it on iTunes or something like that. Listen to how his engineer handled the high end polish. I just felt like if we can get a little more polish on the top end, this could be like real nice and crispy and snappy. So, you know, this might sound like I'm kind of splitting hairs, but listen to that Hit Boy project. The engineer did a good job and work with your tools to try to pull out a little bit of nice shimmery top end. I think that'll really help your beats out, especially this beat. So shout out to you, Emil Exclusive. Shout out to you. Once again. All right. Thank you so much. All right. So CS Dillinger in the chat. Fair warning, my shit is maximalist. All right. That's all good, man. It's maximalist. So you got a lot of sounds going on. Is that what you're saying? It's all good, man. So let's see here. All right. Here we go. Got you pulled up here. Let me cut on the volume. So ladies and gentlemen, we have CS Dillinger with Cinematic. All right, CS Dillinger. Shout out to you. I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was C.S. Dillinger with Cinematic. Shout out to you, C.S. Dillinger, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, C.S. Dillinger, with that beat, the first artist I thought about when I heard that beat was Destroy Lonely. I was hearing someone like Destroy Lonely, possibly Cardi, but I'm more so leaning towards someone like Destroy Lonely. Could Trippy get on that? I don't think Trippy could get on that. I'm thinking Destroy Lonely. Okay, so those are the artists I was thinking of when I heard that beat. The first thing that I noticed about the beat, however, was the top end of the beat was real brittle, just meaning that it felt like a lot of stuff was like, it's just like harshness. The first thing I wanted to do, hopefully this doesn't freaking crash. Hopefully this doesn't crash FL Studio. Let's see, do I have Soothe too? No, did I continue to pay for it? Let's see if it crashes. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't crash. But the first thing I wanted to do is like soothe the top end. And it looks like it's just loading. So while Soothe decides if it wants to load, I'll just go ahead and continue with my feedback. The first thing I noticed was brittle high end. So with the brittle high end, you just want to, let's just try, I would work with the volume. Just try not to let things hit the red, especially with sounds that are like, has a lot of resonance. These are like a lot of synthesizer sounds. So it can get brittle kind of quickly. We definitely don't want that to occur. So just kind of work with your volume, work with your EQs. Sometimes you have to allow certain sounds to sound a little bit softer for another sound to sound just a little bit brighter and a little bit more, give it a little bit more top end presence. So the thing is, we can't have everything loud and sharp at once. Then we kind of create this like clutter, this cluster, this cloud of kind of sharp, harsh sounds. So just work with your EQs. Sometimes you have to dip a little bit in the high mids, just like a little dip. And sometimes you have to dip another sound, like way on the top end. You have to do like a little bit of a shelf just to have the sounds work together. Because what's going to happen is sometimes people think about their sounds in isolation. So what do I mean by that? So sometimes producers will make a beat like this and, play it in the studio, really be feeling it, really be digging how the beat goes. And then they'll get to trying to mix certain things, and then they'll start to solo the sounds. And once they solo the sounds, they start to make EQ moves that once they unsolo the sound, they got done EQing. It kind of doesn't make sense in context in relationship with the rest of the sounds. So for you, C.S. Dillinger, when you do start playing with the EQ around certain parts of the top end, try to have all the sounds going and try to go in there with a plan. Okay, I have these two synth sounds. Which sound is going to be the most present one? Is it going to be this one or is it going to be that one? Okay, if it's going to be this one, then I'm going to have to do a little bit of dipping on this one. I'm going to have to make this one a little bit more dull in order for that other sound to be a little bit brighter. It's creating this kind of cool relationships amongst the sounds. So I may need to make like a YouTube video on EQing. Maybe I'll call it How to EQ Picking a Winner. That sounds like a good title. So I might have to knock that out tomorrow. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow or Sunday. How to EQ Pick a Winner. All right. Yes. And other than that, other than the high end brittleness and sharpness, another thing I was hearing is like space. Due to the fact that you do have those synth sounds that do take up a lot of space in like the mid range and the high mid range, there's a lot going on. Sometimes you need to work with your panning in order to create more space. So you'd be shocked if you have, let's just say 2 synth sounds again, and then you pan one a little bit harder left, just like a little bit more. You can have one sound like sticking out to the human ear a bit more. Then you can have the other one kind of working with the rest of the music. You want to make sure everything is still balanced, but kind of work with your panning to create more space. So kind of once you hear things get cluttered in that mid-range, play with your EQs and also play with your panning. I think if you play with your panning, you'll notice that you have more breathing room. You have more space. Things feel more dimensional. You can even play with having certain sounds real low and then panned hard. And then the ear can pick it up. It's just like ear candy. So these are just little tricks that you can do to just create more of a space, more of a feel, having things be a bit more 3D instead of being kind of crammed and all competing for a tight space. You could just make things more lush that way. So hopefully that made sense. So thank you so much, C.S. Dillinger, for your submission right here on the Heat Check. Definitely appreciate that. All right, so it looks like FL Studio wants to crash on me. So it looks like I'm gonna have to go ahead and reset it. But I just wanted to open up Soothe for you guys just to show you something. But it looks like Soothe doesn't want to cooperate today. I think possibly with Soothe, I think that was a one of those rent to own plugins where I got the I got the Waves subscription, so I think I forgot to pay for the Soothe 2. Just went ahead with the Waves bundle. So just gonna go ahead and reopen FL Studio. And as I reopen FL Studio, guys, don't forget to go to DesmondASounds.com where you can get free FL Studio patcher plugins. You can get free loops. You can get free guides to help you elevate in the music game. All right. So it looks like we got FL Studio back open. So we are all good to go. Yes, you are welcome, C.S. Dillinger. Thank you so much for your submission. Please continue to submit right here on the Heat Check. All right. All right. So moving forward. Wait a minute. I see I am just TH8788. Okay, I thought you was going to, run me some
donations.
I guess you'd want to submit for next Friday's show. So I'll be glad to have you there. Since you don't want to do the VIP skip the line, it's all good. I'll be glad to give you some free feedback. All right. Moving forward, we have Telegram with Beach Zay Crank. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
Telegram is forever.
Right, all right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Telegram with Beach Zay Crank. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. And thank you so much, Telegram, for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, man, Telegram, that beat really put me in a zone. It put me in a space and time. You know, I've been a few places, I've seen a few things, I've done a few things. That reminds me of like tall tees. That's the first thing I thought of was tall tees and being in Texas and, you know, the candy paint and people bumping music like that on some type of like some type of beach or something like that, some type of get together, you know, just puts me back in the zone. Definitely a throwback beat, man. And you really nailed that style down. You know, sometimes when people do throwback sounds, they get close, but you really nailed it. So shout out to you. The thing with that beat, and I see that you intentionally put like the Zay on the title. The thing with something like that, I think the theme of the actual song would need to reflect that. So you're leading the artist into a song concept, which is really good because artists sometimes, I've had this happen multiple times, artists will name their song the name of my beat. It's very flattering when it happens, to be perfectly honest. So Beach Zay Crank, could we make a song with the title Beach Zay Crank? Maybe, but we'd have to, let's lean in a bit more to a song concept. We might put like something like Atlanta in 08. You could name it something like that, like Atlanta in 08. And then the artist will see that title, and then if they'll start freestyling. Then whenever they come up with a song concept, they might name it like Atlanta in 08. And then that could be the theme. And then we're running into the summertime. And then, you know, hey, this could be a summer banger for an artist. So Telegram, if you haven't, if you're not, please, please, please post your type beats. Just post this as I guess an old Gucci type beat, because you never know who might find you. I spoke to a rapper not too long ago. I asked him, how does he find his beats to buy? He was like, I just get on YouTube and search so-and-so type beat and, you know, see what pops up. So, you know, you can do that as well, you know, pop up. And also there's another way that you can sell beats to artists using Instagram. Instagram and email. So I'm working on a masterclass breaking that down for you guys. That's the way that I've sold beats multiple times. I would say probably my biggest beat sales have come from doing this Instagram method. So once I'm done, or, you know, as I finish, I'm in the process. But once I'm done with that, guys, you're going to definitely enjoy it. And I'm going to put that out here on my YouTube channel so you guys can have some game on how to just get straight to the artist and sell some beats. But yeah, this is something you could just, once again, post on YouTube as a type beat, or, you know, DM recording artists to give them this beat. And, you know, this should be an easy sell, man. If you're a rapper, the summertime is coming up, springtime's coming up, man, this is an easy sell. You'd be foolish not to buy this. Please don't underprice yourself on this one, Telegram, because AI doesn't have this cultural type of taste and cultural awareness to create something like this. So for all the AI super fans who be in my comment section when I criticize AI for music composition, it's okay, sprinkle here and there, but some people are super fans when it comes to AI, and they just be doing too much. They just be doing too much. But shout out to you, Telegram. Thank you so much for your submission. I'll be glad to continue to help you on your music production journey. Oh, sorry, Telegram. One piece of constructive feedback is, and I've been hearing this from a few different producers, kind of watch, once again, the sub of your 808. Make sure that 808 isn't just real crunchy and mid-rangey. Let me listen again. Let me make sure I'm not tripping. Yes, it has a decent sub, but I just, let me see here. Let's open up my plugin here, FLD Bass, and let's take a listen to it. I just want a little more sub to it. Like if I was recording an artist, I would probably whip out. Let's see here. I would probably, if I had the track outs, I'd probably put something like the Voice of God on the 808. But this is gonna be perfectly fine. You don't have to. This is just some nitpicky engineering type of thing that was running through my head. So, whatever. But this is perfectly fine. You'll be fine. I just want a little extra sub to shake the speakers, especially for the theme of this. So if you maybe have a different 808 with a little more slow end, like under 90 hertz, 80 hertz, kind of giving us a little more, that's something that I would like. But you're perfectly fine this way. I'm kind of splitting hairs a little bit. So shout out to you, Telegram, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right. Okay. Looks like, ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a treat. We got another submission from Telegram. This one's called Soldier Crank. Okay. Soldier Crank. Another submission from Telegram, Soldier Crank. So let's see if this puts us in the throwback vibe again. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Telegram with Soldier Crank. Man, Telegram, you coming out swinging, man. You coming out with a real distinct sound, man. And I don't know if this is your signature sound, but if it is, man, you got something. You got something. Somebody's gonna want you to produce their whole project. So keep it up, man. Once again, if this is your signature sound, you're definitely you're gonna lock in with the right person, and you guys gonna go super far. Yeah, man, good beat. It inspired like a really good freestyle out of me. If I was a rapper, I would unmute for you guys. If I was a singer, I'd unmute for you guys. Unfortunately, I don't sound good, but I can catch some good flows, and I've been around a lot of artists, so I know how to grab a pocket. yeah, man, this is a good beat, man. Please, if you're not out there, promote yourself, post your type beats, reach out in the DMs and get in touch with different recording artists because once again, AI can make good sounds. AI can make good melodies. AI can maybe even start to make good drums. But AI doesn't have this real cultural connection to what certain things mean to certain people and in what angles. So it wouldn't know how to create something like this and why people would like it. So please get out there, get your music out there, link up with some artists, and man, you're gonna be able to produce somebody's entire project. Just all you gotta do is promote yourself, promote yourself, promote yourself. Make sure you have good communication skills, good business skills, and you'll be out of here. If you just want to be, post your stuff online to sell beats one-on-one, that's cool. Even big dogs get, on YouTube and search for type beats. So, man, you got it. You got it, man. But one piece of constructive feedback, one thing I was hearing a lot of I was hearing that your sounds were like really, really driven hard. It started to get distorted. It wasn't so distorted that I couldn't enjoy the music, but it was starting to kind of get in that lane. It's starting to get close. So kind of watch how crunchy and distorted you're allowing your sounds to get. Give yourself some breathing room with the sounds and allow the ingredients to breathe. I always say over distorted beats are kind of like really good food. You can eat the really good food, but if it feels overcooked, you kind of have to peel back little pieces of the charred stuff to get to the good stuff, and it can kind of impact the entire consumption experience. And similar to consuming music or similar to consuming food, we're consuming music, and sometimes that distortion can create almost like an auditory type of overcooking that we don't want to have. People can still look past it, but let's watch it. Let's not. And I think it's really kind of your 808 you're allowing to drive and hit hard. So let's watch how distorted we're allowing the sounds to get. But once again, shout out to you, Telegram. Thank you so much for submitting on the heat check. All right. We got Lil Novek in the chat. We got Big on the track in the chat. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for coming in and checking out this stream. Moving forward, we have a heat check regular, which is Dancing Main with Gold Chain. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then go ahead and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dancing Main with Gold Chain Hit. Thank you so much for your submission, Dancing Main. I appreciate you for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Dancing Main, couple things here. One, let me start by saying good sample choice, nice transition from the sample into the intro to the beat to the hook. A nice little contrast that you were doing there. But one thing I'm hearing is the same thing I was hearing in last week's show. There's something that's clamping down on the master of your beat. It sounds like you have some type of limiter on there. Either you're allowing your limiter to do too much gain reduction and it's creating this weird kind of pulling sound. It sounds like your limiter is doing too much gain reduction, or you're allowing the release on your limiter to hold on to the sound too long, so it creates this weird kind of pulling sound that I'm hearing. So watch the setting on your limiter. Try to allow the limiter to, of course, make the sound louder and kind of color things in a tasteful way. But we really don't want to. We want to try not to really hear the limiter. We want the limiter to almost be transparent to a certain degree. Because limiter can add certain type of tone and texture to your beat. But when I say transparent, is I don't really want to hear your limiter. I just want it to work and make things sound better. So I don't need to like, oh, that's a limiter on it. I don't need to be doing that. So watch your settings on your limiter. When it comes to limiting and compression and things like that, just do a lot of A/B, turning things on and off, on and off, on and off. Sometimes we can make certain moves in our plugins and we can say, I just spent 5 minutes doing this. It better sound better. You know, we can kind of have that I've already invested time mentality and I can't just take it off. But let me tell you something. I've made some elaborate EQ moves in people's vocals or on a beat that I'm working on, and I hit the bypass button, and then I was like, wait a minute, it sounds better bypassed. And the trick that I've learned, I was actually taught, is to close your eyes and just click the bypass on, off, on, off, on, off, and then just slowly click again, off, on, without looking. And then listen, say, okay, does this sound better or does this sound better? Does this sound better or does this sound better? And when you do that, you'll be surprised sometimes, like, dang, I did all that and it sounded better bypassed. So it's kind of the tricky things can happen to our ears and our minds working with all these cool, cute little colorful tools that these companies give us. So just be on the lookout for that. And also the limiter kind of messed with the attack of the kick. When we went to the sample and to the actual beat, I wanted it to just, the kick to just snap a little bit harder. And I think the limiter just tucked it down a little bit too much, and it kind of impacted the feel. So, you know, I definitely want you to keep this beat. I just want you to make certain tweaks to it to make it more appealing to the ear. And another thing I was hearing with this beat, Dancing Main, is it sounds like I was actually hearing this going to an R&B artist as opposed to like a rapper. And if we're gonna do something like that, the hook doesn't necessarily have to be heard in the sample. It can just be implied. And what do I mean by that? I mean that the artist can sometimes sing over whatever the sample is saying because we can't really hear what they're saying, and that can kind of help them create a hook. So what do I mean by that? So let me go ahead and I'm gonna add a low pass filter, and I'm gonna subject you guys to some of my terrible off key singing, but this is just strictly for educational purposes. So y'all bear with me. So, we're gonna do like this. Okay. Creating contrast. So as you can see, I'm a pretty big fan of automating low pass filter. So I'm gonna do this hook part here just to set the example. Okay, so we're playing the beat. You see what I'm saying? So we couldn't quite articulate, or we couldn't quite hear what the sample was articulating. And then me using the low pass filter helped to imply certain words. So I kind of made the low pass filter a little more drastic, but if you don't want the low pass filter to be that drastic and you could hear some of the words a little bit, the artist can play off of that. Like, what is this person saying? And they could add lyrics on top of that. So we're cutting off some of what the words are saying, or you can go all the way and just do a harder low pass filter like I did. And then the artist can create a melody on top of that like I was doing. So the sample was kind of playing background vocal and melody, and then the artist is on top of it, you know, doing their thing and creating a hook to it. You can even double the little sample breakdown part right there, so an artist can really do their thing, do like an 8-bar hook. So yeah, you could do that and you'll be good to go. So shout out to you, Dancing Main. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right, moving forward, we have Dancing Main again, Woman of the Night. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dancing Main with Woman of the Night. So thank you so much for submitting that on the Heat Check this week. Dancing Main, you are definitely appreciated. Now, Dancing Main. All right, let me pull this back up. There we go. All right, now, Dancing Main. That beat, there was a couple things going on there. You know, good sample choice. I definitely like the first beat that you submitted better. One of the first things I heard in this beat was that clap that you selected. It was a bit, it just didn't really fit the texture of the beat. I would have maybe used a clap like, let's see. It'd be nice if I turn on the audio. Let's see. I feel like that one could have worked. Really, this one. I think this type of clap would have worked in that beat more than the one that you selected. It just felt a little off. It just didn't feel like it quite flowed with the rest of the beat. Also, the bass line was real. It was just a lot. The bass line, I felt like we could have given the listener a break a little bit. It was kind of just, you it was a lot. I would, if this were me, I would maybe have my bass player play on something like this just to make it sexy and kind of, do something like that. Also, you could possibly try doing like, 808s, how people do in trap soul songs, giving the listener a little bit of a break every now and then, listen to like some of Bryson Tiller's stuff, listen to how the 808s kind of just play around. We're not just constantly we're given a release in the bass. We're given a release in the 808s, and it just creates a little bit more space for the listener. And yeah, also I was hearing something in the sample, and I think I know what happened. So let's go ahead and take a listen here. I'm pretty sure I know what happened. So it was this part when the beat came in, which it looks like about here. Like, listen to how the speed of that piano. So those first couple piano hits were a little bit off. Rhythm. It didn't really play off it didn't play off the drums in any type of creative way that would be pleasing to the ear. And one thing that happens sometimes is with sampling, we are working with different types of limitations, right? So we have to get creative sometimes to get the certain piano notes to hit at certain points to create a nice rhythm with the rest of everything else that's going on. So I know you guys sample with all kinds of different programs. I will stand by this program any day. If you guys have to do a payment plan, I live by this program. I maybe need to try to, maybe need to contact Serato, because I'm an early adopter of Serato Sample, so I'm probably one of the first people to get it. So with Serato Sample, I'm just gonna grab one of my loops here. Yeah, all right, I just grab one of my loops. So with Serato Sample, and hopefully Dancing Main, you have Serato Sample, or you plan on getting Serato Sample. So with Serato Sample, one of the nice parts about it is this individual chop time stretching. I love this. Probably is one of the best things that, man. Anyway, so what happens here with Serato Sample is I can have my chop, and instead of time stretching everything else in the sample, I could just get this individual chop here, which is this one. I get this individual chop here, and I can time stretch it. So you guys see it? Let me make sure you guys can see it here in OBS. Okay, yes. So I can time stretch it and make this individual chop slower. So if I'm making a beat and I have the sample chops going, sometimes I don't need the whole part of the sample slowed down. That's way too fast. It sounds weird. So the normal speed is this. Nice groove. Then I can time stretch this one chop. So why am I doing that? What's the purpose of doing that? So if you have a beat going and you have sample chops going, and it's just this one little thing that's bothering you. Back in the day, we used to have to just chop, and then work with those chops and just try to make sure we're hitting those chops at the right time. But now with something like Serato Sample, you can have like a little piece here, and then you could time stretch it. So while you're playing the beat, and if that little part of the sample, little part of the melody is off, you could time stretch just that one chop to make sure it lands right in pocket with the rest of the music. So it sounds like you weren't able to do that Dancing Main, so it created this kind of weird lag in that piano, those first two piano notes. But if you decide to invest in something like Serato Sample, then you can, do stuff like this. So, definitely give it a try. So I believe I have my Zounds.com link in the description. I believe Zounds.com has Serato sample. Hopefully they do. If they do, you can use my link, affiliate link, if you want to support the channel. And I believe Zounds, of course, Zounds allow you to buy stuff, no credit check payment plans if you want to invest in yourself. I got my compressor from Zounds, and I am happy. And I got this Lawton audio mic from Zounds. So, you know, no credit check, get a payment plan, invest in yourself, but don't overspend. Just pay for what you can and, you know, do it that way if you're so interested. So shout out to you. Shout out to you, Dancing Man. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. You are definitely appreciated here. All right. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, another great show, another great Heat Check Live beat review show this Friday, man. Apologize to some of the early viewers. How about a bit of a 30-minute delay, messing around with all this OBS streaming stuff, Stream Deck and all that stuff. You know how technology goes, but I made sure that I am here for you no matter what. Even if I had to be a little bit late, I just pushed through, reset a bunch of stuff, and fortunately, I was able to make it this Friday. So things will be much better next Friday. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and open up the form for next Friday's show in about 5 minutes. Of course, I'm going to make the YouTube community post. Guys, we are tiptoeing on the 1-year anniversary of the Heat Check Live Beat Review show. Can you believe that, guys? It's almost been an entire year, man. Man, that is so crazy. An entire year. So we're gonna do like a marathon show once we hit the 1-year mark, which is in May. So I'm gonna do a marathon show. We're just gonna pull up, play a bunch of beats, give a whole bunch of feedback, and yeah, we're just gonna have a good time, man. Kick it, do our thing, and just celebrate music, celebrate each other, celebrate the family, the Frequency family. Frequency family is the name of my online community here. I finally got a name, so shout out to you guys, Frequency family, everybody in the chat. We're gonna have a good time on that marathon live stream once we hit the 1-year mark in May, and I'll of course announce the date on the show and on the YouTube community. Guys, also don't forget to get my Leo Afrobeat Latin Spanish guitar loop pack. You can get that at DesmondASounds.com. Had a producer, man, cook up some beats to one of the loops, man. It was super fire. You know, I like having these kind of off-kilter sounds for you guys to implement in what you do, because, you know, a lot of people have access to the same sound, so I try to get stuff that is kind of foreign to the ear, so you don't really hear it all the time. So it looks like in the chat, Lil Novek, is this just for beats? I'm looking for an in-house producer. Is this just for beats? I'm looking for an in-house producer. So yes, the Heat Check Live Beat Review show is for, oh, okay. So it looks like you're looking for like, it sounds like Lil Novek, you're looking for like custom production. Yeah, I mean, so Lil Novek, what you can do is, you know, make sure that all the producers' names are on the chat or shown on the screen. So if there's a particular producer that you're liking, you want them to do custom production, you know, definitely don't be afraid to hit them up. Also, you can leave a comment, you know, you can find you an in-house producer. So yeah, man. So just continue to watch the Heat Check. You know, you see different producers' names on the screen. He's like, okay, they're in that direction that I'm looking for. I want somebody to, okay, so he's looking for his Zaytoven. So yeah, Lil Novek is in the chat, and he's looking for someone to, you know, create a sound. So y'all can even reach out to Lil Novek. So Lil Novek in the chat, do you want to put out your Instagram or your website so I can shout you out? So you know, so people can check you out. It can reach out. Some producers might want to give you some custom production. If you can go ahead and drop that in the chat. So yeah. Okay, you would like them to hear his music. Oh, okay. So yeah, Lil Novek, as far as this show is of course a producer show. I do allow for artists to submit beats if they do the VIP Skip the Line, which is of course the $10 Skip the Line pass, just because I want this to be a primarily producer show. If you want to do that, that's cool. skip the line so we could play your music live, play your song live. We can do that. I'll allow that for the VIP skip the line. But of course, Lil Novek, you can also shout out your website in the chat, or website or Instagram or something like that for custom work. So okay, so yeah, you'll skip. Okay, cool. All right, so shout out to you, Lil Novek. Shout out to you, Lil Novek. All right. Wait, when you say you'll skip, does that mean you'll skip the line? You trying to do the VIP? You trying to run some? Oh, you can't even hear that. You can't hear my sound effect. I gotta try to.
Donations.
There you go.
Donations.
You want to run them donations, man? I have you on the show, man. But it looks like when you say you'll skip, means you're gonna skip the VIP. So it's all good. It's all good. You'd also get this
new VIP.
I got that new sound effect for anybody who wants to do the VIP skip the line. But it looks like that is the end of the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out the Heat Check Live Beat Review Show, almost at the 1 year mark. All right, guys, make sure you guys check out all my content. Make sure you check out the last episode of the podcast. So, Lil Novek, I see that you're here. So Lil Novek, are you trying to do the VIP skip the line? Yes or no? Please let me know, because I'm wrapping up the show. If you want to do it, I got you. If not, it's all good. So let me know, Lil Novek. I'm looking out for you in the chat. So as we're looking for Lil Novek to see if he wants to do the skip the line, if he wants to do the VIP, as we're waiting for that. Once again, guys. Okay, Lil Novek. So looks like we're not done with the show. Looks like we're gonna have another submission here. We're gonna have an actual recording artist go ahead and submit. So let me get back here. All right. So we're still back in action. All right. So Lil Novek is about to submit. He's about to click on that VIP skip the line. So let's go ahead and have him do that. And as Lil Novek does that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and show you here. If you guys haven't checked this out, I actually have a free FL Studio Patcher plugin. Let me go ahead and pull that up here. All right, if this will cooperate with me, looks like it doesn't want to. All right, so I have this FL Studio Patcher plugin here. It is called FL Super Clipper. All right, FL Super Clipper is similar to the Soft Clipper, but it gives you more features, right? So you can clip your sounds. You can go from soft clipping to hard clipping. Then you can also mess with the tone here, so you can really get things dialed in. So that is free. That is free at DesmondASounds.com. So make sure you guys go there, DesmondASounds.com, to go ahead and get that and cook up some nice fire beats, some nice fire music. We definitely will not regret that. All right. Let me see here if I got the submission. All right, let me open up my thingamajig here. All right, still waiting on the submission. All right, let's see here. Are you still with me, Lil Novek? Let's see. You still with me, Lil Novek? Let's see. Participants. All right, you're still in the chat, Lil Novek. While you get that all loaded up, let's see here. Guys, I also want to show you. Let's see here. So I want to show you guys FL Magic. FL Magic is definitely underrated. I don't think a lot of you guys aren't aware of this patcher plugin that I have available right here on my YouTube channel. You just click the link, it'll take you to the store. So what FL Magic does, this I really have this designed to help you guys really manipulate your loops so things don't sound so similar to each other. I just noticed a lot of people are using a lot of the same loops and not really doing too much to change it. So with FL Magic, you can add a chorus effect, you can add a phaser effect, you can also mess with the EQ. This is actually a tilt EQ, so if you move it left, you can make your sounds darker. You move it right, you can make your sounds brighter. And then I also add this tape wobble here, so you can get that RC20 wobble type of sound. And then also you can use the high pass and low pass filter to really get things tucked into the beat the way it should be. So, all right, let's see here. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna show you guys how FL Magic works. So let me go ahead and paste this here. So in case you guys want to get FL Magic, really get to flipping your loop so everything doesn't sound so similar. You know, you guys will sometimes hear like a splice loop, and it's like, okay, I heard that splice loop before. Some people in the chat even will start sample snitching and whatnot, which I definitely don't condone, but it happens from time to time. So FL Magic. So we're gonna play this without FL Magic. And then we'll play it with FL Magic so you could really, that's a little too much. I'm gonna give it an RC20 tape wobble. See, that's gives you that RC20 sound. And you see there, I can use the low pass to really tuck off the high end so things really just get locked into the pocket. So that is FL Magic. You guys definitely want to check that out. All right. So let's see here. All right, Lil Novek. Shout out to you, Lil Novek. All right. We got a
New VIP.
That's right. Got a new VIP, ladies and gentlemen, Lil Novek. So let's go ahead and pull up Lil Novek songs. All right. Gotta go ahead and pull it up right here in FL Studio. Make sure you're all loaded, locked and loaded. All right. Let's pull up Lil Novek stuff here. Once again, as I do that, guys, don't forget to check out some of the podcast episodes that I have here. Have podcasts with producers who work with Big X The Plug, producers who work with Lil Durk, producers who work with engineers work with Lil Bootsy. You know, if you guys want some good game to listen to over the weekend as you go to the gym, set up your dates with your girlfriends and whatnot. As you're doing that, make sure you check out the Made in the Studio podcast right here on my YouTube channel. All right. Novek. All right, here we go. Lil Novek. All right, here we go. Lil Novek. All right, looks like we are all good to go. All right, gonna go ahead and play this song first. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, we have a
New VIP.
That's right, new VIP, Lil Novek with Obama. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play this song and mute my mic and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. All right, here we go.
I'm sure fixing played its course.
I wish I had another chance to tell you sorry. I wish I had another chance to tell you bye. I wish I had a stronger heart to try survive. Let all my anger out in the mic, won't leave enough to cry. You got me stressed, won't answer calls, you got my heart racing. I told my mom you was the one, I guess my heart mistaked you. She kept on playing right in my face, can't be mad, I replaced you. I told my friend you was the one, they climb my ass, I hate you. I tried so hard, you kept on striking my shit just like Babe Ruth. Risk all I got, man, I'll be damn, I ain't coming to save you. Go ask that nigga, I bet he'll be so ready to claim you. Ain't with the back and forth, go find you somebody that's lame too. I know you like the way I look, baby, that's cause I pop it. Why you keep tripping for no reason, shorty, stop the nonsense. Think about you 24, hey baby, might as well call me Brian. Your nose get big every time you like Pinocchio, just stop it. Running high school behind closed doors, we still kept it private. It was late to class, still had my bag, you let me use your locker. We fuss all night, then wake up good, we kicking it like soccer. Throw on my tux, it's business time, and I feel like Obama. Man, I feel like Obama. Man, I feel like Obama. Stop the nonsense.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Lil Novek with
New VIP.
Skip the Line. All right, so we got an artist submission playing his song. So Lil Novek, man, that song was good, man. I didn't really know what to expect because I rarely get songs, primarily just producers who skip the line and whatnot. But I was digging that song, you know. From a producer standpoint, the only thing I was really thinking about was like the mix. I thought the mix was cool, but I felt like vocal wise, the mix could have been I just could have got a little bit more out of the vocal mix. One of my past guests, Mixed by L, he's an online mixing and mastering engineer. So if this is a song you want to push, I would definitely reach out to Mixed by L and have him mix it if you want this to be like a single or something like that. But you had good auto-tune and stuff like that. I could tell whoever recorded you really, you know, they know how to work their tools. I just feel like we could like polish it a bit more, especially the vocals. I want more like body out of it. So, you know, definitely check out Mixed by L. And, you know, if you want to push that as a single, then he can mix and master it for you. And then, you know, give it that extra shine. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you, Lil Novek. Shout out to you. All right. So second submission by Lil Novek. I Thought I Knew You. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play this song, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's take a listen.
Smoking cigarettes on the roof.
Yo, show me who you wanna be.
You look so pretty and I love this view. We fell in love in October. That's why I love fall. Looking at the stars, admiring from afar.
How you been without me? You been living great. Met you a while ago, but now I feel like that we strangers. Wish I never met you, wish I never dated you. Talking to my boys, I told them that I hated you. Break it back, you screaming, I trail on Fantasia. Why you treat me like that? No, I won't never come back. Why you don't answer your phone? Cause I've been stacking a rack. And I can't trust nobody, they keep stabbing my back. I left my heart on the plate, you do it right in my face. My memory is erased, cause I don't remember your face. I've been done tripping over you, so I'ma just have my lace. And I ain't competing with you boys, cause I've been wanna race. The cops keep turning lights on, they keep harassing my race. Home run, knocked it out the park, Jackie Robinson. I gave you all my love, but I won't do that shit again. You lie right to my face, you said you'll be here till the end. Screaming lyrics to my song, she keep on telling me I'm him. Oh my God, I'm so tired, I'm so drunk. Why they compare me to him? My daddy got rid of the truck, he went and got him a Benz. And then we going to different states, so you won't see me again. Why you worry about what I wear, nigga, it don't concern you. Don't get close to nobody, fire, cause I'm my mom, they'll burn you. Don't put shots inside these holes, cause on my dad, they'll hurt you. Don't be quick to go make friends, cause they'll always go against you. Man, for real, man, they niggas be snakes, man, you gotta watch that door. Don't be quick to go make friends, cause they'll always go against you. My pops told me never let a woman see you cry. I never kept a relationship, cause I kept telling lies. If I ever have a woman, she cried and I always wipe the eyes. I take the blame, don't know what to say, so I apologize. My might be off, you like to argue and shit. You wanna criticize me, that's not how it's supposed to be. And then my shirt all soaking, I just jumped in the sea. You don't wanna talk about our feelings, you just drink Hennessy. But you gotta stop that drinking, baby, if you gon' come with me. And I ain't pressed with nobody, I don't need no company. And I ain't pressed with nobody, I don't need no company. Hey, I know you, man, I know you from somewhere, man. Where do I know you from? Oh, man, you the girl I used to love. For real, you let me damage it. Baby said she want me and she gon' buy me a mansion. I don't even wanna cause you know that I've been stranded. I've been through so much but there ain't none that I can't handle. We just watch a movie and I go on like the candle. You keep showing off for people know I cannot stand you. Getting mad for no reason, man, I don't understand you. I'ma call you later cause my plane is just now landing. Cause my plane is just now landing.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Lil Novak with
New VIP.
yeah, new VIP. Skip the line. So shout out to you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Lil Novak. Now, guys, in the chat, if you guys are just watching on your TV or iPad or something like that, Lil Novak's pointed out that that was the BandLab version, not the studio version. So, guys, you know, he has a studio version out, and, you know, that's just the BandLab version, so it's the idea. So he has a polished version somewhere there on his drive. So I'm sure you can check out Lil Novak on, you know, Instagram, YouTube. You can get a link to all his stuff. So Lil Novak, I'm glad that you pointed out that that was the BandLab version, because the first thing I noticed was how quiet the vocals were. It was just like the beat was just overpowering it, and then the vocals were like tucked all the way down, and you know, I kind of had a struggle to hear what you were saying, but overall it was a good vibe, good melody. I think in music it's really commercially viable. So one of the main things that I'm thinking now, that due to the fact that you have quality music, and I think it would be placed in certain areas, is one thing I'm just thinking of now at this point. It's like, of course, the quality, we want the studio versions and have a better mix of the first song, mix and master. But I'm just thinking about like marketing, branding. So now it's at the point that you know how to make music, but now it's going to be about the visuals. What kind of creatives are you putting out? What type of marketing are you putting out? What are you out there doing shows? Are you doing open mics? You know, as AI gets better and better, you know, people are going to want to go out. And, you know, people make fun of the quote unquote Chitlin circuit, but, you know, going out to these little different places and performing, that's how you build a fan base, and people are going to want to actually go out, get dressed up, and, you know, see some people, see some of their friends and family. So, you know, they're going to want to have experiences. So, you know, if you have quality music like Lil Novak, then you're going to want to think about all the things that you can do to create an experience whenever you actually get out there and perform. You know, do you maybe need to have dancers? Do you maybe need to have some people, like two of your friends, kind of playing out the lyrics next to you? Maybe you can get your friends dressed up. They kind of do things like a play while you're like in the crowd, like singing the lyrics, and then people are kind of looking back at your friends doing it. Definitely trying to build a team, because I know that's all I need to push. Yeah, man. Yeah, Lil Novak. Because this music, I could hear this music on like TV shows. I could hear this just as like a single somewhere. So yeah, at this point, Lil Novak, of course, you know, we always want to improve the music. All right, so Lil Novak has a little bit of everything. So guys, yeah, Lil Novak has quality music. So all the people who check out my stream, you know, just performed with the live band last night. All right, so Lil Novak is on it. Hey, man, that just goes to show, man, when people invest in themselves, it shows. You know, invested in this VIP, skip the line. You're investing in yourself, doing shows and whatnot. So, yeah, guys. So, you know, y'all hit up Lil Novak, you know, work with him, help to, you know, build up his sound. Looks like he's, you know, working with his team. He's out there doing the work. So, you know, people who invest in themselves, people naturally want to invest in those who invest in themselves. That's, you know, that's just how the game goes. So you guys check him out, check him out. Work with him. if you do anything else in the music business, go out there, reach out to Lil Novek, because he's out there on the grind, making music and doing his thing. So, yes. Shout out to you, Lil Novek, and thank you so much for the
New VIP.
new VIP. Thank you so much. Send as a beat pack 2, fam. Okay, so it looks like so he's looking for beats as well. So Lil Novek is looking for beats as well. He's looking for beats, looking for producer. He's looking for everybody to work with him. So you guys check him out. All right, there we go, guys. Man, this has been a great show. Awesome show, man. Started late, but we're here, and the show was fruitful. So, can't give up. Got to push and persevere through the hard times. And we've had an excellent show. Once again. 1 year special, 1 year anniversary coming up in May next month. So, guys, building something wonderful here. YouTube channel is growing. Man, I'm hoping to hit 10K by the end of this year. We'll see. But I'm going to keep grinding regardless. They say you aim for the stars. If you fall short, you land on the cloud. I probably just messed that up because it's pretty late. My brain is a little scrambled. You feel me? But I'm going to go ahead and open up the free form for next Friday's show. So I want to see you guys there. Make sure you guys check out everything I have on this YouTube channel, podcasts, videos, live streams, of course. And I will see you guys next Friday, same time, same place. Y'all be safe out there. I'll see y'all.